Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, A Wandering Dork with me, Daniel. We're managing Dorking Wanderers in the last day of the League One season. Unfortunately, there's not much riding on here. We did fall away in the end of our playoff charge. A 3-2 defeat at Notts County last weekend, sealing our fate. We're going to finish at the very lowest in 9th place by the looks of it, as Blackpool's goal difference is inferior to ours. But a brilliant achievement after last season, where we narrowly escaped relegation late on. First 35 games, we looked really under threat. At times, we were worried about our job last season. Didn't look like we were going to survive in League One, and this season we took it to the penultimate day for the playoffs, and although inevitably we did fall short in the end, we've produced a really good season and a really good building block for the future as well. We've got a few good young players in. Some of the key loan players are staying with us next year too. Unfortunately, and I hate to be the person with that excuse, injuries did just catch up with us a little bit in the end, and today we play Exeter in a final game of the season. They're scrapping for their life, so it's crucial for one team in this match, and then we'll go and review our players this season before our end of season proper review in the next episode. So it's 8v20 first. Exeter looking to better MK Dons result. That will keep them up with their better goal difference. So if they draw and MK Dons lose, they'll be staying up regardless. So we've got a lot of pressure on our hands. Nicky Cowley in charge. Looks like he's taken a leap from being number 2 alongside his brother. He's managing Exeter down at the bottom there. And if he gets the result and keeps them up, he'll be a hero down south, where we're looking to do as well as we can with Dorking and cement 8th place in League One. Obviously the finances make a difference to us at this point, so we have got to do as well as possible, and we've just about got everyone back fit today, and you can see financially things are going really wrong here. I'm not quite sure why. We're well within budget. If you look at our transfer and wage budget, we're actually about £29,000 under the wage bill. We're also under the transfer budget by 200 grand. We've got Barry Cotter's appearance money soon to be rolling in. Everything seems to be going pretty well, to be honest, so it does show a lot of mismanagement at the club, and that not having a stadium, not getting that match day income, it does make such a difference at this level. But firstly, before we go and get into the final game, a massive thank you to everyone who supported for another season. If you're enjoying the series and looking forward to our end of season review, our final game against Exeter and another transfer special in the next week, please do put a thumbs up on the video. If you're new to the channel and haven't already, subscribe for daily FM20 content. We've got a big one tomorrow in the head coach. We had a big one yesterday too, actually. So our transfer special for the start of the season at a Tycoon owned club tomorrow at 4:30. That's certainly one not to miss based on the last window. And yesterday we had the culmination of our playoff campaign in that one, so find out if we went up or stayed down in that series. But then in 2 days time we'll be back with Dorking Wanderers, an end of season review, and in 4 days the transfer special here as well. So exciting points in both series. I'm really getting into them now, starting to get attached to the clubs as we go along, particularly in this one, the one club series. There's a lot more challenges than we had at Torquay and FM19, but we're still finding a way to move up the leagues, and we're starting to make progress, albeit slightly more slowly. But let's look at the dynamics as we go into the final game. The dressing room atmosphere is very good. The managerial support's excellent as always. The team cohesion not bad. We're starting to think about what we might do over the summer. The one concern I have got is all those players we've been scouting for trials. The 18, 19-year-olds leaving Premier League clubs. Only 2 that might even be squad players this year. No real stars. No one that looks like they're going to seep through and be a first teamer. The likes of Humphreys Durney this season. Previously we've had a few others as we've gone through. The likes of Whittaker in earlier years, of course. Looks like there's not many of them this season, so we're waiting for Aitchison to come through next January. But let's look at the schedule for the last few games. Since you were with me for that big double header, 3 wins really did put us back in contention. We were flying up towards the playoff places, got within 4 points with 2 games to go, and then unfortunately against Notts County we lost, and that just about put paid to our chances. Just left ourselves a bit too much to do, but we did give ourselves a great chance going into it, though it looks like our good defensive record's gone as well, so we'll probably make some changes for today, give some of the young players a bit of first team action. So Mark King scored the winner against Doncaster, a great result against the team right up there at the top. I want to see who's in the top 3 actually, who's finished in the top 2 out of those teams. A 3-0 win at Accrington, John King, Humphreys Durney and Tom Cook with the goals, before a 2-0 win at home to Bristol Rovers. Ogbene and McKinnon with the goals in that one, and then a 3-2 defeat away at Notts County, and it was the 94th minute we lost our playoff hopes. I'm sorry, I've got to go and show you the goal. I've just remembered how ridiculous it was. This is the goal I'm going to show you. A Tete in the 94th minute that cost us a chance at the playoffs. With a minute to go in the penultimate game, the goal that cost us the chance. Just wait until you see this one. So here we go, 94th minute, last minute of stoppage time. Notts County coming forward, little bit of pressure. We were slightly worried, but the ball went through to the keeper. Really good claim. Then look, just tries to clear it quickly, goes for the kick, doesn't move to the side of the player, hammers it into his back. It hits the Tete's back and goes in, and that is the worst way to throw away your playoff chances. You do not want to see that sort of thing happening. Tete, as a result, got man of the match and a second goal in that game. Didn't know anything about it in the end, but he is on £6.5 grand a week, which shows the difference between the 2 two sides, and it was probably the most comical way to end the season after such a good fight to get back in contention. But into the Exeter game today, it's the final one of the season. We'll just skip ahead to kick-off time, and then we'll make a few changes going into the match, and I'll join you in a moment to go through the lineup. So fitness news, which will be crucial. Joe Wilson back to fitness. It looks like he's going to get a chance to start today. Bolger struggling after a damaged heel. Matthew Smith still not fit. He's someone we've missed immensely in the last few. Always been a star performer. Has been training really well this year as well. Gone from 4-star ability to 2.5 with those two injuries. Really declining physically is a bit of a concern for us. But as long as he keeps playing well, I just don't mind what his rating is. So we're in strong form despite that last defeat. Heavy favourites as you'd expect against Exeter. Who have MK Dons got? We've got to keep an eye on that. They're away to Wycombe. Where are they? Wycombe. They're in 23rd, already relegated. Nothing to worry them. MK Dons got a big game on their hands, and we're going to keep an eye on those two teams. Will it be Exeter that we send down, or MK Dons that end up going down instead? Of course, to put it into perspective, MK Dons came up as champions 2 years ago when we got promoted from League 2. We finished just behind them in 3rd place, and they're going back down today, possibly if we don't get the result against Exeter. They're in contention on the final day, which shows just how well we've done. We've now established ourselves as a top half side. Not counting up in the playoffs, we've both done brilliantly. So two sides that deserve lots of credit. So let's go and have a look at our team for today. Good news before we start, a few of these players are staying on loan next year. We'll talk about those in the end of season review next time out. Mark King isn't one of them, so he's going to be replaced by Wilson. Little injury, but I'm sure he'll be fine. Luke Thomas in for a rare start at left back. He's been a good signing in January. Come on quite a few times and made an impact, particularly when we've been seeing out games coming on that left wing for Ogbene, just giving us a bit more steel in midfield. And then who else can we bring in out of the youngsters? Manny Cook I would like to give a chance to. Think he's a bit too early for that though. So Stefan Moles will be replaced in the midfield area. Now actually we're going to take Johnson out for Cook. He's a central midfielder, so let's get all three of them in there. Which one's best in which position? Cook as a box-to-box midfielder. Humphreys Durney's a left footer, so we'll switch him with McKinnon. Just get the three young lads in the middle there. And then I think I'll take one out the squad entirely, as Joe Thompson deserves a chance on the bench. He's a younger player, has done much more for us over the years. Johnson been a bit of a flop in the January sales. We're going to replace Ramsey, I think, with Simpson as well, are we? In fact, no, Ramsey's a young player. Let's give him a chance as well. Other than that, is there anyone else we desperately want to get in? I don't think there's any other star youngsters there. Tom Cook possibly, but Dalton's just as good, and hopefully is one staying with us next season. So I'll take Samuel off the bench. We've got a good option in midfield, so Bolger will come on for him. But aside from that, it's going to be that 11 and 18, and hopefully they'll be able to put on a good display. So in midfield, I am still tempted to bring Moles in, I've got to be honest. In fact, I think I'm going to do it. Manny Cook's just one too far. So Humphreys Durney box to box, McKinnon and Moles as the deep line playmakers. Manny Cook will come off the bench at some point. But the 11 for today is Mitchell in goal, Ramsey and Thomas coming in at left fullback, Walker partnered by Wilson in the middle. Wilson is training really well, he is improving. You can see he's gone up to 2.5-star ability already, and he's still got that 5-star potential. He really is looking a good player, and I'm hoping he'll be able to improve pretty quickly. Moles in the middle with McKinnon and Humphreys Durnley, Dalton and Ogbene on the wings as always, and John King up front looking to get another goal. Can he finish the season near the top of the scoring charts? Into the game though, let's see if we can send Exeter down, as well as putting on a good display with some of our youngsters, and hopefully the key players will step up and be counted, and prove why they've got to be first choice next season. 4-2-3-1, some familiar names in that side. Sparks on the left wing, Hornstrup at left back, Lloyd Jones, the current Luton player, at centre half, Charles Cook in midfield. They've got a lot of good players. Look who it is in the middle too. Aaron Solman, do you remember him from the head coach? I think it was Halifax we had him at back in season 2 or 3. 3 or 4, sorry, it was, we were at Halifax. What a fantastic player he was for us. Doing a good job for Exeter there too. So let's just go and get into the first half. Nothing really riding on it for us, other than pride, trying to make sure we finish 8th. Sending Exeter down as well could be a massive day for us. They'll probably have a big following coming up to Dorking, or Crawley as it is our home ground. So let's just see what we can do in the first half. We're yet to see a shot at either end with 10 minutes gone. Well, 35 minutes on the clock, and what a rubbish game it's been. One shot on target, no highlights. Humphreys Durney finally getting the ball in an attacking area. He's challenged and it falls for McKinnon. Moles back to McKinnon again. Can we find that breakthrough? Can we find an opening? Lovely switch of play to Ramsey. Chance to deliver from the byline. Heavy first touch though, and it's cleared away. That's really poor play from the right back Ramsey. We'd expect better from a key player like him. Here's Walker bringing the ball down, going all the way back to Mitchell. Needless to start back there. Mitchell clears it long to the left, brought down by Ogbene. Let's see see if we can turn the screw here. Can we get on the front foot, change the tempo? Beats one, beats two, brilliant work Ogbene, goes for the shot, it's straight into the arms of Torrance, but a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel there. A good shot, a good effort and a good solo run, but it was never really threatening the keeper much. 5 to the break, it remains 0-0. At least we saw one highlight in the first half, and Exeter have a booking, but it's been a nothing game. MK Dons drawing, so it's still the same at the bottom. So let's talk to the lads. We're going to encourage them. It's been a decent display from the young team. We've just about had the better of it, but there's not really been much in the game. We might go positive late on though. Exeter have a corner here. Charles Cook in, Beck heads down, just over the bar unmarked. They've had a good start to the second half, so we're going to go positive. Just try and get on top in the match now. Start to control possession. We've not even had half in this game. That's very unusual by our standards. McKinnon gets the ball in the middle of the pitch, centre circle back to Moles, and now we're going to really try and get the attack on. Hopefully we can get on the front foot here. Here's Ramsey into the middle. Good take from McKinnon. Got Dalton on the right if he can find him. Goes short to Moles. Will he pally the ball? He does. He finds Dalton. Beats one. Edge of the box. Goes for a greedy shot. Back to Ogbene. What an effort that is. Roused the crossbar and cleared away. Out for a throw in and we continue to attack. But the highlight ends and it's still goalless at Dorking. We've got a free kick on the right though. Thomas taking it. The left back into Dalton who heads just over. We're starting to turn the screw. We're starting to look a threat. But it's still 0-0 and we're not taking our chances. Quarter of the game to go, not much going on, so let's go and make some changes. Humphreys Durnley had a pretty average game. Who can we bring on for him? It's either Bolger or Cook. Which one do we go for? I think I'm going to go for Manny Cook in the middle, you know. Tom Cook on for Dalton. He's not had a great game. Been in pretty poor form at the end of the season, actually. And then James Simpson on for Ramsey at right back. 3 of the younger stars getting a bit of a run out. So in we go with those 3. Let's see Manny Cook in midfield. Takes the pressure off trying to score. Thomas with a free kick into Tom Cook. Heads against the bar. He's dribbling on the line. And we've just seen another comical goal. That is absolutely brilliant. Moore on the line, trying to punt it away. Goes for the big long swing downfield. Hits his goalkeeper on the side from 2 yards out. Cannons into the net. It goes down as an own goal for the keeper. And as comical as our concession was against Notts County, that one's pretty much just as bad. Moles on the right to Tom Cook. Can we get confidence from that now? Here's Cook with a delivery and at the front post. Headed away as far as Ogbene. Falls for McKinnon. We're keeping the pressure on. Finds John King. Back to McKinnon again. On the edge of the box. We can't get our shot away, but Ogbene finally does, and it's a brilliant one. 20 yards out, he gets the roly-poly out, into the top corner, cannon thunderbolt, and we lead 2-0 with 15 to go. We're sending Exeter down, we're sparing the blushes of MK Dons, not something I'd really love to do, to be honest, but as Moles heads away, Exeter coming forward, they've got no choice but to try and chase the game now. Here's Charles Cook to Shaw, switches to the right to Kone, can they get one back late on? They're really pressing forward, you've got to give them that. Falls for Solomon, 25 yards out, he finds Charles Cook out to Williams. Thomas gets it away to Ogbene and eventually finds Tom Cook who hacks long downfield. John King tries to get on the end of it. He can't, but it falls for Stephen Moles. John King's running off him, just got to find the through ball. That's a pretty good one. King on the right side of the box. 2 in the middle, but he's been fouled by Lloyd Jones. Who takes the penalty? Is it Stephen Moles? It is. He's by far the best taker. I've tried John King once. I'm not doing that again. Stephen Moles with a chance to wrap up the 3 points. Up steps the skipper for the day. Will he send the keeper the wrong way? He does. Into the bottom corner. The keeper eventually dived there, but it was a little bit too late. The chicken dance out for his 12th goal of the season, and we lead 3-0 with 10 remaining. Well, the stoppage time's basically up. The whistle's going to go any second. What a second half performance from the lads. They've really turned it on. Joe Wilson at centre half had a great game. That's a really promising sign for the future. I'm tempted to make him first choice next year, but hang on a minute. McKinnon skinned 2, tried to curl it in the corner, didn't quite get enough on it, and the final whistle goes at 3-0. Yes, it was started by a comical own goal, but the seconds and the third were really well worked. One to win the penalty, one a great strike from Ogbene, and we comfortably win 3-0 and wrap up 8th place in League One. A really good solid season after last year, a top half finish competing for the playoffs to the very end. Wigan and Cardiff go up despite Doncaster beating them 4-1. Brilliant end to the season at the top, and unfortunately we've sent Exeter down. Though MK Dons did win their game, it wouldn't have been them anyway. Accrington the one who have their blushes spared, and we can only apologise for what we've done to them. But we finish in 8th place above the likes of Blackpool, Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday, Peterborough as well, all clubs with bigger budgets and bigger squad staffing than us. Lots of money being spent on wages. We've done really well to compete, and it's been a really strong season for us in this League One campaign. So Cardiff win the title, Wigan in 2nd place, both of them up, they won't care less. Bolton and Ipswich wrap up the last playoff spaces. Jack Walker's knackered, but he's going back now. A wig break for him, a couple of months off, and Ogbene gets the praise for that performance. So a brilliant finish to the season. Let's very quickly go and have a look at their star performers this year. A few we've got to focus on. Of course, course, you might be wondering, who are we going to keep and sell? Please do get your comments down below. Let me know who you think we should keep and move on. And then in the end of season review in 2 days' time, we'll talk about it in a lot of detail, and we'll try and go through the players we're keeping and why. But in appearance order, lots of key players at the top. You can see how many games Matthew Smith's missed from injury, actually. About 8 or 10 he's missed out on there. Matt Smith top of the appearance charts despite not playing in that one. Mole's just behind, Dalton just behind that, and Jonathan Mitchell on 44. John King's had a good season. He is top scorer despite not getting quite as many as last year. I'm pleased to confirm he's one that's staying next season as well, but of course we'll talk about that more in the next episode. King and Dalton standing out. Mole's getting 12 as well. It's a shame Dalton did fall away at the end of the year. Didn't score in his last 3. I got assist a couple of times but didn't really score for a while, but he is still a good young player, and again you can see he's staying with us next season. Moles is a really good player. He's really come to the fore. Him and Matt Smith have been fantastic in the middle. Matthew Smith, sorry to avoid confusion. McKinnon had a good year as well. So really good performance there. Lots of goals from midfield. 10 assists from Dalton on the right wing too. Humphreys Durnley largely off the bench. Moles and Matthew Smith the middle three, all thriving in that playmaker role. Having the 2 deep line playmakers either side has really made a big difference since October, and we'll stick with that formation next year. Maybe get a number 10 rather than a box-to-box player. Give us a bit more impetus going forward, and hopefully that'll make dividends for us next year as we try and push for promotion or at least a playoff place. And then finally, in terms of average rating, a few players above a 7. Moles and Matthew Smith the standouts. John King, Dalton and McKinnon above a 7. McKinnon signed a new deal for 2 years as well. All of them having really good seasons. But of course we'll talk about them more in the next episode. Do our end of season review, talk about the revolution this summer. We'll focus on a couple of areas off the pitch too. It'll probably be financial based because of this year. We've really got a lot of worries off the pitch. And being at a club that aren't in charge of their own stadium, you can see where you lose a lot of your income at the lower level. And we'll talk about that in a little more detail, as well as doing our end of season squad review, our player of the season vote, all of those bits. We'll announce last year's winner too. But a massive thanks for your continued support, and I hope you've enjoyed yet another season. If you did, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you thought of that final day performance. As I said before, get down in the comments, who do you think we should keep and move on? Are there any players that you don't agree with my opinions on? And we'll talk in detail in the next episode. I might surprise and upset you, but if you put comments in, I'll try and get those across and give you a bit of my opinion on why I'm doing what. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content from both of my long-term stories. As we mentioned, we had a thrilling end to the season with Charlton Athletic in the head coach yesterday, the Journeyman series with no saying transfers and contracts, and that's going to lead to a brilliant episode tomorrow too. It's a summer transfer special, a tycoon-owned club, director of football in charge of all the transfers, so let's see what magic he produces in that one. If it's anything like January, it's going to be a very special episode, and then we'll be back with this one in 2 days time, our end of season review with Dorking, before we have our own transfer special in this series in 4 days. A really big week coming up on the channel. I love that time where you start the season, love the first day, love all the transfers, all the exciting bits that we love as Football Manager players. They're the ones coming up in the next few episodes. Finally, I'm part of a podcast that does matchday vlogs and interviews, and you can see the link to the matchday vlogs playlist in the eye above. A massive thank you for your support with them so far. We really do appreciate your positive feedback in the first few. Check them out if you haven't already. Let us know what you think. We'll have a few more coming over March and April, and we hope you enjoy them just as much, because we have a great time going to lower league football. But a massive thanks for watching this one and following along for another season. I really do appreciate your continued support with the series, and I hope to see you next time for the end of season review, where we talk about our big plans for this summer at Dorking.